Okay, we're live, sir.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, just in time.
We are live, bro. We are
We're as live as it gets.
absolutely, man.
How you doing, brother?
Huh?
All right, dude.
I'm ready.
Yeah, sounds like it.
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing
That's
good.
good.
Yeah. Listen, all of you guys listening to us, thank you all for listening. First and foremost, listen. Don't hesitate. Don't procrastinate. Scan that QR code in the top left of the screen, and join us. Join us. 2024 is going to be the era, the year of making money. This is your opportunity. This is your you're not going to get a chance like this where here you are at the end of the year and you are staring money in the face. And you can either do two things. You can say, money, I don't need you, honey. And go back to working your 9 to 5 and making ends meet and trying your best. Or you could say, I don't need the latte. I don't need the Flappe Lupa from Starbucks with the extra shot of espresso. I don't need that. And for less than the price of a latte or even a regular cup of coffee from a gas station, for about $1.66 per day, you could join AlgoFactory.tech, where you not only learn how to trade, that's just one thing, folks. We give you the keys to the kingdom. We teach you how to build algorithms that can be hard-coded and that could trade on your behalf 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Or you just like to manually trade yourself. We'll teach you how to make those algorithms where you know when to get in, when to get out, when you can profit on the way up and on the way down. No matter what the market situation is, volatility all of a sudden is no longer a fearful enemy. It becomes a friendly friend. And then you and volatility can get into bed and make sweet music as money comes raining down into your bank account. That's what you can do in 2024. Or you could just sit there, be fearful, get the cat food, head to the basement, and wait for the SWAT team to come through the door. The choice is yours, folks. Are you going to be broke in 2024, or do you want more? Join us, AlgoFactory.tech. Cowboy.
I personally am choosing Alpo, so I'm gonna go with dog food. Because
I have finer taste than that.
Are you already going with Taster's Choice? What's that one cat one in the 80s?
I'm doing Ukanuba.
Ukanuba. That sounds like some jungle food. What's Ukanuba?
Ukanuba is dog food. It is not a Native American tribe. It is dog food.
What's that one where it was something like it was like the cat in the 80s, and then they would like put food in the crystal bowl.
Whiskas.
With the crystal bowl? I thought
Whiskas.
it was like something like Taster's Choice. That's a coffee, but
that's coffee, man. Whiskas.
Whiskas. There's Meow Mix. You can always go with Meow Mix.
Tasty Choice.
Tasty Choice. That's the one.
That's what it was.
That's the one. Yeah. Little cat came up with all that like fuzzy white hair, and it's like Robin Leach was feeding his cat. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Lifestyles of the rich and famous with Robin Biatch. Yeah, we're dating ourselves.
We like to wish potato chip dreams to the lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Yeah, that's like, dude, we're really showing our age. Like we're doing stuff that certain kids get. You start doing Magnum PI references, and fuck yeah, dude, that was the best time anyway. Screw it. Actually, the wife and I did we decided to kind of watch some Knight Rider episodes because they put it on YouTube, and like 1 or 2 episodes in, we're like, this is really dumb. This is really dumb, dude. Like the how do I put this? Like the level to which you have to suspend disbelief to believe the show. This is this is fantasy, bro. Let me see here. Lisa Gray. If you're not the lead dog, the view is always the same. dog mushing quote. Yeah, that's yeah. If you're like in the Iditarod, yeah, up in the Yukon, you can be looking at something in front of you, and it's not going to be clear skies. That's actually what you did say in the intro, by the way, which is great intro. One of the things that people kind of we took a risk in the branding because people hear algorithm and they get scared. They think, oh, it's I have to know how to code on the computer. I have to know all this fancy stuff, and that's just not how it is. V said it. If you want to just trade like anybody else, an algorithm is part of that. And tying your shoes is an algorithm, is what I like to say. It's just all it is a method by which you do anything. And anybody who trades follows a method. They follow an algorithm. Now, I do put my own trades up there. If it's a trade that's kind of an obvious trade that is not something that's too complex, I will put my own trades up there. And I know people are probably following them. We're not a signal service. What we always say here is that you really should be doing your own research. But if your research happens to look like mine, then why not take the trade? So there is that aspect to Algo Factory. But what we're really doing is we're giving you the tools to build a trading method that suits your personality. And that's really what's going to, make you successful. And in the meantime, we do have some pretty cool stuff to look at today. I know Ray put some really cool articles up yesterday. We'll take a look at this one about Bitcoin and is it Bukele or Bukele? Bukele, right? Bukele doing some things down in El Salvador. Let me go ahead and share the screen and we'll view the original. We have no intention of selling. El Salvador's millennial president touts the country's Bitcoin investment as the token soars. Yeah, so they went ahead and bought Bitcoin, I don't know, probably over the last 2 years when it was just in the toilet, and now they're doing great. Now Bukele has also, what did you say, V? They got rid of like all the MS-13 influence, and they've pretty much gotten rid of a lot of the corruption and the crime. That's not that it's totally gone, but it's very much gone. People over there are starting to feel a little bit safer. People are, now they have Bitcoin as as legal tender. I'm not sure how it's codified into their law, but
it's Bitcoin and the dollar down there.
Say again.
It's Bitcoin and the dollar.
Okay, well the U.S. can't be happy
dollars,
about that.
And of course they have pesos and stuff. That's basically what it is. It's not 100% Bitcoin down there. It really isn't.
It's not what?
It's not 100% Bitcoin.
No, but it's made available to the public. It's made easy to get, and there you could spend it. Look, here's the thing that people don't understand about Bitcoin itself. Like you could spend that. If you use like say the Lightning Network, you could spend it like it's cash, and it's actually quicker than using your card. You just zap the thing and it's good to go. It isn't like it was 2-3 years ago before Lightning Network really took off, and you got to wait 20 minutes for your transaction. That's those days are over. So anyway, they made a bunch of money because they bought Bitcoin. Now it's going up to past 42,000, and it might just be that the bull market is starting a little bit earlier. We're not 200% sure about that, but it could be the price just continues up from here. We may never see 15,000 again. We may never see 20,000 again. It's hard to say. We're at a time in the market where we don't want to say that for sure, but it's possible at this point. So anyway, the El Salvador. Actually, I've been talking with is it Charles over at Exit World?
Oh yeah,
good guy. We've been kind of promoting each other's, on. He's been promoting Algo Factory on Twitter. So Exit World is a pretty good one to look at there. It's exit.world, right?
Exitstrategy.world.
Exitstrategy.world. That's what it is.
I'm setting up an offshoring service. We're not done yet, but that's going to be there. So all you guys in Algo Factory is going to be taking your profits. You want to add an extra layer of security that's going to be available for you.
Yeah, that's V's company. Exit. It's excuse me. Sorry about that. Exitstrategy.world. I think is what it's called. So that's.
I got tired of these idiots like nomad capitalists giving bad advice. Yes, I feel that North Korea is a wonderful place to go live in and expatriate yourself. Guys like recommending countries that are like one revolution away from tyranny. Telling you to go live there.
or
Like, what
tyranny
the
already.
hell? I can't. These guys are all amateurs. I've been doing this longer than they had.
Those
Like, all right, you know what? I gotta shed some light on this.
Okay, yeah. Well, definitely keep that in mind if you're looking for that type of solution, especially with crypto. That's being set up, and there's some pretty experienced people getting involved in that. So here's another one. We're going to jump into the charts based on this article from Ray. So the article talks about how U.S. leads coalition to triple nuclear power by 2050 in effort to address climate change. Okay, I don't care, believe in climate change or not. That's up to you. But what the trend is that finally, nuclear is being considered a green option. Okay, it should have been a green option the whole time. Not that I really care about green, but it is what it is, right? So now look, I'm going to tell you right now, the electrical grid is not ready for this. It's running at pretty much a capacity as it is. There are a lot of things in the electrical grid that need to be actually upgraded and fixed. But provided that they can do that, which would be actually a massive infrastructure investment, and it may be that the powers that be are waiting for a massive depression to go ahead and do the infrastructure so they can put people to work when the time comes. We have here a lot of uranium that's going to have to be bought, right? Because for whatever reason, they don't want to do thorium. It's because uranium makes weapons too. It's my thought there. I mean, that's actually, you could just look that up on Wikipedia. If you look up thorium salt reactors, which the Chinese are the ones who were pioneering on that, when it comes to thorium salt reactors, okay, thorium is like way more available, like multiples of availability in the earth. It's easier to handle. The waste can be either used as fuel or disposed of without the same kind of toxicity as uranium waste does, right? So long story short, though, uranium is what's being done in the West. And so if you are looking for a way to profit on that, Ray went ahead in our group and put up a bunch of ETFs that are uranium ETFs. I'll list them. I won't necessarily chart them all, but we will take a look at them now. Let me go ahead and zoom in and make this, what do you call it? Well, it looks like our crypto charts are just literally going as planned. Look at this. Okay, so here's yesterday's chart on BAL USDT that we charted in the private group. And this is right at entry of what I talked about. Just so you all are watching, this is not to do with uranium. Let me zoom in on the screen. I had two scenarios with this crypto chart. We're going to jump over to these uranium charts, but look at this real quick. I had a breakout and a retest, which were literally right there for BAL. So we'll delete this other path here. And, well, we might have to go over these in the private group again. So we'll do that. But look at this. Just right according to plan. Now, I'm not saying my stop loss would be right there. It might be a little higher, might not be, but that's a nice trade right there for those who are watching. So, just a freebie out there to the public for BAL USDT. Whoever's trading crypto out there might be coming up on a good time to buy it, maybe, right? You got a break of this structure, and then you have a retest. It just touched that. I know a lot of people who I know are already in it right now, waiting for that move up to at least like $5. So bear that in mind. Freebie. All right, so let's look at the NLR ETF for uranium. Yeah, the Van Eck. Okay, so this is on the daily, and it's just going up. There's a nasty chartage there. This is what happens when you're looking at like just stuff that's thinly traded. You just have a lot of. It's not as pretty as it could be. A line chart would almost be better. It's climbing up right now, though. I mean, look, it's very bullish. It's on a parabolic move. As a matter of fact, that same thing we just looked at with that crypto chart. You have and again, none of this is investment advice. We just have to remind you of that. Like, we're just talking about charts, right? So, yeah, the nuclear article should make you want to do your own research as to whether or not you want to invest. We're not saying to invest in these things, but we're just going to chart it out. And I personally invest in things that I think are going to go up. And so if I chart this and it's going to go up, it might be what I do. You got to make your own decision. But this right here is that same kind of look. You had a resistance created by a pivot point, a break above and a retest. and now price seems to be headed up. Now, I'm not saying it's going to continue up. It may well do so. What Ray's talking about is a long-term play, because you're talking 2050, right? So something like this would be something where, okay, first of all, look, if you think that the world is going to end, like, like the dollar's going to disappear, the world's going to end today, that I really think that probability is very low. We may see a rotation in what the reserve currency is. We will see that. We're seeing it now. We've been seeing it for 20 years at least. So yeah, the US dollar there's been a massive divestment from the US dollar for sure, right? And that's been going on for a long time. It's nothing new. And so again, the US dollar is still being used, and it's being used a lot, and it's still the cleanest shirt in the dirty laundry. It's still the most fungible out there when it comes to large transactions. Sure, you got a lot of countries doing different things, but the dollar is still massively used. Okay. So I wouldn't get really worried that you're going to have to go have your cat food in the basement, right? And I would start thinking about where I want to put my capital to stop its devaluation. And one of the places I might look are going to be markets like this, right? I wouldn't be, if I were to invest in stocks personally, I'd be getting the stock certificate, right? I would find a way to buy it. And I'm talking about investing. I'm not talking about, buying it today and selling it next month. I'm talking about, I want to buy this and hold it for a while. If I'm going to be a stock investor, I'm going to get the stock certificate, because if you do not have the stock certificate, you're buying a rehypothecated fantasy. Is that correct, V?
Yep.
Yeah. So what I mean by that is that these companies with these stocks, these, your brokers and stuff like that, you're kind of like buying the right to make money based on the price of a stock, right? But because rehypothecation has occurred, basically what that means, it's like fractional reserve banking, right? So you're not really getting the stock. And if everything falls apart, then your money go bye-bye. But if you do want to invest in something, you can get the stock certificate. Now, who's to say that stock certificate is not going to be a worthless piece of paper if things go badly? It's hard to say. But I will say that, it could be that if you want to invest in these things, a stock certificate is the most likely thing to be redeemable in the future. And so, I wouldn't even be worried so much about the chart per se. It went from, just in this year, it went from $50 to $75. It went up 50%. That's big. And I don't see that. Look, first of all, this is a very big parabolic kind of move, and it's probably going to turn into a cup and handle. And on the high time frame, these little classic chart patterns are not necessarily bad. They're all right. So this is your cup. So what I think will happen eventually is you'll see this may form eventually. Doesn't this say it could just keep going up? But you might see something like this. And if you see something like that, then the opportunity is going to be around this area. But you're talking about like next year. And this is something that this is a long-term look, right? But these patterns are predictable in the way that price expands. And the way that this would go, because this will go into price discovery, right? Like this will go into a mode where price has never been before. And just this leg up, most likely place for it to go would be around $110, right? So price is at $74, and within the next few years can make 110. And if you have a stock certificate, and if you believe in this kind of, investment, that might be a good way to go, but you got to do your own research. But I can tell you right now, it's on a parabolic move up. It's powerful right now. And, catching it here is not going to be necessarily as good as catching it wherever. This cup might only go to here, might go all the way to here, then it won't be valid. It has to stay above $60, the bottom of this handle, right? But, it might only go to here, which means it would be really powerful. Either way, though, that's the look. So, and I bet you all these other uranium ETFs look the same. So let's just do a quick look. You have NLR, URA. I'm not going to look at all these. We may take a look at the rest of them in the group. But similar formation, you can see right here. There's your big cup right here. You even have a valid cup and handle inside of this, but I think the broader one is the one to pay attention to. But it's here. If you want to trade it, it's right here. This is, live in action. Trev says before using uranium, the plants would need to be built, i.e., may see moves in RWE Siemens. Yeah, definitely, Trev. Those RWE Siemens, those are the companies that actually are building the plants and the components to the plants. Siemens, in particular, I know they are building a lot of the like control boxes and stuff like that. So, yeah, big business, and provided that we don't have everything crash too hard, that might be some good long-term looks, But again, and we'll go over the rest of these charts if people want to inside of the private group. I don't want to spend too much time on it. What I might do is take a look at, we'll just go look at Bitcoin because that's where all the action is right now. Oh, look at that. Look at that. All right, so Bitcoin, obviously, it got up to 42,500. We talked about it in the private group yesterday. We're going to have a longer talk. Look, by the way, if you're watching, and I'm going to throw up a QR code right now because we're at the end of the we're basically at the end of the, what do you call it? The public live lab, the free to the public beginner live lab. But I can tell you that Bitcoin right now, we have a couple ideas of where it could go from here. It is at a point where it may level off. And when Bitcoin does this, let me show you something. You can see it in the past. Just look at the past. You have Bitcoin, it moves hard, and then it kind of stays where it is. And then it moves hard, stays where it is, moves hard, stays where it is, moves hard, hangs out where it is for a while. Moves hard, it probably will hang out where it is. It might be for this long, it might be for that long. But I can tell you, for as long as it stays where it is, then the altcoins should start to do well. As long as Bitcoin hangs out in an area, and if it were to drop, it tends to want to drop to where there was some prior price action, right? It could continue up easily right now, just based on where it is. That's quite possible that it does not fall. Nothing goes up in a straight line, but Bitcoin does it about as close as you can, call a straight line, as you can see, starting from October here, going from 26,000 to 42, which is insane. But it could always fall, and it tends to want to fall into these areas where there was a lot of price action before. If it were to fall, I think it would happen after price leveled off for a bit. And once price, whether it's up here or down here or even lower or higher, wherever price finds a little bit of a longer term equilibrium, right? If the price discovery really starts to kind of come into play, then the altcoins are going to really take off. They're already taking off now, but they really could take off. So the altcoins are right now, this is the time to be like out there sniping them. So we're going to talk a little bit more about the altcoins. And again, in the private lab yesterday, I charted out like 7 or 8 altcoins that I think are really going to do. One of them, you got the freebie, the BAL, right? You got that freebie. But this right now, and probably, if not for another year or two, then at least for several weeks, and then again next year. Or it might even just be all that time. The altcoins are just where there's going to be a lot of money made. You not even have to trade derivatives. You can trade spot. You can go onto Coinbase. I mean, it's not like you need to do anything fancy, So also, if you're interested in being with Algo Factory, I noticed we have people joining up at the beginning of the month. It doesn't have to be like that. We have monthly billing no matter when you start. So you don't have to wait to the beginning of the month. Just go ahead and sign up. If you start on the 5th, then your next bill is due on the 5th, right? So there's no, you don't have to wait for classes to begin or any of that. There's nothing to wait for. So I'm going to go ahead and throw up the QR code. And Gorilla, if you could please give us the send off, and we'll move into the private lab.
Listen, guys, don't hesitate. Join us. Make a difference in your life. We're entering a new year. Make it a new you and a new bank account. Join us at algofactory.tech. Grab your financial life by the balls. Make it happen. Let's go, cowboy.